All right, what is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Black Desert series. So it's that time again where we play through another seasonal, and we got a lot of news and stuff. So as of yesterday, Landed a Morning Light Part 2 came out, and I've been busy doing a lot of endgame stuff on there as well, and you guys can watch those videos. But I figured I'd take a little bit of a break and start up a new seasonal series, which is usually not that many episodes in general. It's pretty quick. But what I wanted to do this time around was make this more of a new player experience. So what does that mean? Like, I get to experience what a new player would feel like. And as you guys know, Dark Knight is my main class, and that's what I know how to play the most. So what we're going to be doing this time on seasonal is playing a Dark Knight. That way, whether you are starting up the game for the first time or you're looking to get into Dark Knight in general, I think I can do a pretty decent job at explaining what skills are early on good and how you should go about doing a lot of things. So I think that might be interesting. I'll try not to use too many endgame items. I'll try to tell you like where I grind and all that stuff, and we'll see how far we get into here. So hopefully that'll be fun to watch, and maybe you'll pick up some tips along the way. And before we get started, I want to say that I do have a costume code that I'll be giving away in a few days. All the partners got one from the CMs and GMs, so it's the Tayback outfit. It's in the Pearl Shop, but we have one to give away to you guys. And for all of you who are looking to get an outfit, all you have to do, leave a comment and let me know why you should get it. And also join the Discord. There's a link in the description, and that's how I can actually reach out to you and if you're a winner. So, and also in my Discord, we have a lot of stuff. Whether you're a beginner player or veteran, I have a lot of guides. So whether you enjoy socializing with people or you just want to watch a video on like a guide on anything, all that is in the Discord. So either way, yeah, we have a code to give away. I'll pick a winner in a few days, and let's get started. If you skipped a tutorial, proceed with the tutorial. No. Okay, let me talk about this as a beginner perspective. You're probably seeing this one. So which one should you pick? I always recommend Ancient Stone Chamber to everyone, simply because it's the one that you'll be going through the storyline for the first time, and it's also in like the beginner area, so it's always, you know, good to start there. Plus a lot of the early on grind spots that I'll be showing you guys are, you know, close. And I know it says recommended for like new adventurers, veterans and stuff, so let me just tell you the difference in case you are actually wondering. So Mountain of Eternal Winter came out a few years ago, and you could do it as a beginner, like a level 1. However, it's kind of out of the way from all the starter zones, so you're basically doing this zone first instead of actually learning the game. So Mountain of Eternal Winter is just kind of, it's not difficult, it's just out of the way. And, you know, there's like a main story that goes in progression. Mountain of Eternal Winter is kind of like later on. And Morning Light, I know that a lot of you guys are probably seeing this and you're like, oh, I came back to the game, or I saw an ad for Morning Light, so I want to do this one first. It is recommended for veterans because the area where you would be starting Morning Light is not even on the same island as like the starter one. So like basically you're doing like a 500-600 quest chain before you can even get to like all the leveling and stuff, and you know, you'll figure out all the grind spots. So yeah, this is for veterans and or people who have a character already. So I would not recommend starting with Morning Light, even though like this is the new content and everything. But yeah, as a new player, always start with Ancient Stone Chamber, and so that's what we're going to be doing. And let's start. Also, the new season plus, basically you get a box at level 60, and I'll show you that as well. If you want to play through all this yourself, I'm going to skip through the cutscenes, but you guys can watch them yourself. All right, so the first thing I want to show you real quickly is this is kind of not even like part of our season. Need this to go away. So for all of you who are wondering what that level 60 thing actually is, It's this thingy. So basically you get all Tet boss gear, some Kaposha pieces, which I think are they're just base or whatever, and pocket watch and the secret book of Misty Breeze, which I don't actually know what that is, but either way, for all of you who are doing this, make sure to get to level 60 and you'll get this one as well. Okay, so we are on our Dark Knight. What would we do as a beginner? First thing I would recommend to all of you is messing with your settings and UI, because there's a lot of things that are probably seen when you're playing versus me, because I have them set. So I'll leave a link in the description to one of the videos on all the settings that I use and things to turn on and off, because you're probably seeing a lot of notifications up here like this has been listed, or this person made some sort of gear. You don't need to see all that. And yeah, so anyway, this is the season pass. Let's see it. All right, usually I tell people, I'm always straight up with everyone with this. Is it worth it? Let's look at the rewards this time. I think for a beginner player, this might be helpful, but if you're like a veteran player and you're just like looking at all this, chances are you won't need all this, and I'll like literally enhance everything, go through all of this and show you why you don't need it. So all of these are nice to have, but is it worth like the $30 you're gonna spend on it? For beginner, it might be nice to have. For a veteran player, no, it's not. All right, so let's get into the game. First thing you're gonna want to do, I think these might be on by default, but just make sure to turn it on and off. The way you do that is the little icon thing over here. Just make sure to white. So I've actually given a lot of feedback over the years on how I would change all these skills for more new player friendly stuff. Because a few of these skills that you get by default they're not bad, but they're more on like the PvP side and or movement. So it's not really like easy progression. Like it's not bad, but like you'll figure that out. Okay, so anyway, with that said, once you've messed with all your settings and everything, go through the story and I'll explain what skills you should have, like hot bard and everything, as we unlock it. New gear. Go to the Ancient Stone Chamber, learn more about the Ancient Stone Chamber. Cool. So one of your big movements abilities as Dark Knight early on is your airstrike, which you get early, like I guess at level 1. You basically just do that, and then it'll just like airstrike you from point A to B faster. So that way you can make use of that, like going faster a little bit. Does it matter? No, but good to know. And then also another one, your Smoky Haze. This is also one of your movement abilities. The first thing you would do is also look at all of these. A lot of these are your movements. We, as Dark Knights, we lock evasion, and that means so like you can't like do random rolls and stuff. But Smoky Haze is one of your movements, and when you do up directional and shift, like you'll just move, like you'll see that like me go invisible for a little bit. Like when you dash. So that's your movement abilities plus airstrike early on. I think it's I don't know, like it's not bad, but I don't think it should be a level 1 ability. Inventory, always good. Put on some gear. All right, defeat small tree spirits and gray wolves. So slanted balance is a really weird one that you get early on. This is more of a CC ability and also admittedly used more in PvP than it is a PvE skill. Like obviously you'll be using it no matter what. But what it does is basically you're down left. And what you would do with this is basically from a range, you fire your blade straight ahead like that. And then the range really isn't that big, but either way. One of those weird skills that you get early on that I think should be a little bit later because it's not like a... It is important, but it's not like the most important for... Basically just airstrike and slanted balance your targets early on and learn how to do those. Dice. So I don't actually know what you get as a beginner because you probably get some like beginner first time player rewards. So you probably have a few like million silver and stuff like just you start off with some gear and buffs or something like that. This is also another skill that I think it's important, but I don't think it's a beginner important skill. So Kama Sylvia Slash is down here. It's Shift L and B. So what you do is you hold and charge it, and then it'll send off a huge swing forward in front. It's more of a PvP thing. Obviously, you'll use it in both, but I don't know why they give it to Dark Knights early on. I think it should be like a little bit later on. So just to show you what it looks like, you charge and then swing big frontal. Defeat the imps. So admittedly early on, Dark Knights are, I guess, you know, they get some of the weirder skills, and some other classes just get big AoEs early on, which makes it a little bit faster. That's the downside, but ultimately it's not a big deal. So this is your offhand weapon. Talk to Armstrong. So you're gonna be learning about skills and stuff early on, and I could show you a video from my main that has everything, but you don't even really worry about that till later on. So like the add-ons and everything, which I have a video of that. Maybe I'll do an updated one. To check something. So basically this one, it just branches off into the story of how you want to do it. Ultimately, will it affect anything? No. And then this thing right here tells you how many times you've done it. I just choose this one every time. Why? I don't know. It doesn't really matter. defeat steel imps. So Obsidian Ashes is actually a really decent one. It doesn't do a lot of damage, but it's like your ranged target ability. So when you're grinding, basically you could target things at a range and then pull them towards you. Well, it doesn't pull them, but like it'll aggro them. So the way it works is like, let's say you're standing over here, right? And you want to target something. You would shift E, your Obsidian, and then usually if it doesn't kill them or CC them, they'll run towards you so you can group everything up. And it's actually pretty nice. So it's not like a damage ability, particularly, but it is a good early pull. If we were supposed to collect some of these, I kind of forgot about them. Basically level up. Cool. Defeat the imps. So Wheel of Fortune is probably going to be a really important one for you guys. I would recommend hotbarring it on something, simply because this is going to be your big AoE, and like it is a pretty high damage ability. So this is the one you're going to be using a lot. Does a big circle, and it's an AoE, so it's going to help you grind, and it's a very strong PvP one as well. So get used to using Wheel of Fortune, because that is probably going to be one of your biggest ones. It doesn't give you a lot of MP potions early. Hey, maybe I'll get 10,000 quests one day just by doing seasonals. There's no shot. So early on, this teaches you how to actually use your life skilling. So by hitting your L button on PC, you learn all this stuff, and it's basically teaching you how to do heating and like basic cooking. That's how you use your inventory. So we're coming up to our first boss in the game, like I guess the tutorial boss. So basically what this does is a lot of frontals. What you're going to want to learn how to do is hit your Q button. That is a forward guard. You see this blue shield, that means it's forward. You can't get CC'd from the front. And what it does is a charge attack and a lot of slams. Make sure to use your dash and learn all the abilities you just learned. Admittedly, I will say doing this on a Dark Knight is harder than some other classes that I've done. Like, I've played every single class, and if you're a beginner, obviously, like, you know, this is the first tutorial boss of the game. It is more challenging for Dark Knights early on, but ultimately not a big deal. So all you have to really do is, you know, don't get hit, use your dashes and your movements that we talked about earlier, and find out like different patterns of everything, and you'll be good. Very simple. Hello, I'm back. Phase 2 in rage mode. Can you skip it? I think you might be able to. So Darkness Burst is when you do an ability, but also like RMB out extra. So like, let's say you do, I don't know that, and then Darkness Burst, you just hold. It's kind of like when you're learning skills and combos, you do a skill, and then there's also a thing called a flow, which means you do something after it. And so like, for example, like this ability with a flow, you follow it up with something and it does like a combo. You'll learn that on, it's not like advanced, you just learn it later on. All right, go talk to the people in Velia. This is the first town you're going to. And got new gear. 4 AP upgrade. Let's go. I think early on is when you actually get like seasonal gear. So that's when you should probably start equipping it. Almost like we just got a cutscene for Velia. So this is the main town that all of you guys are going to be starting at, most likely. And so this is a thing you get only if you have beaten the story at least once. So basically, if you want to do the entire story again, you choose main. And simplified, you skip all the way past Medaya. And then you just don't have to do the main story. You can just progress, which is what we're going to do. If it's your first character, obviously play through it. There's a bunch of fun rewards that you get early on. And it actually is worth doing because you should learn how to play your class and all that stuff early. Plus there's like quest bonus rewards and stuff. All right, so you get this gear early on. It's called Naru gear. It's like tutorial gear as well, so it's gear upgrade. Do I have a horse? I have a lot of horses, but are any of them good? Oh dude, I wish this would be a little bit lower. So you do get a horse through seasonal, so it's not like I'm doing anything like wild. You just get it at level 18. So we're just gonna skip that to save a little bit of time. You'll get it at level 18. What you would do is just go back grinding, like or questing, doing whatever. But for the sake of video time, we got a bunch of extras. Wait, hold on. It already has instant excel sideways. It already has instant excel, sprint, drift. They give you a lot of this for free, so it's like whatever. What should we call our horse? We'll just name it Horse. I remember when I first started this game, tier 8 horses meant you were like a god. It didn't even go up to tier 8 back in the day. Like tier 5 was the maximum. And then they raised it from 6 to 8. Nowadays, they just kind of give away like dream horses, which is above tier 8. But there's a few things we want to do in Velia early on. So whether you're a new player or not, I do believe you probably start with some silver, and you probably got this 5 mil bar from like a quest, so we'll just say you use it, right? And what would you do with it, actually? And you're probably wondering, you can turn it into the vendor, and you have, let's say you have 5 mil. So what you're going to want to do is go to the central market, which is the marketplace of the game, and you can do that by like this here as well. So what you're going to want to do to help us speed up like our leveling and stuff is get a few items. So you're going to get a simple cron meal. Let's write this here. The reason why is because it gives combat XP and extra AP against monsters and a lot of other offensive bonus stats. And it lasts for 2 hours, basically. So buy a few of these. I already have them. And then that's going to help you like just level up and, you know, do combat a lot faster. And then there's a few other bonus things that you get as well. At level 15, you get this one. You just get it by default. So it helps you level up faster. So yeah, let's see. What are we going to do? You could buy a few other drafts and stuff like these things, the beast ones. They're like the 15-minute version. Beast draft. Yeah, these are like 1 mil. I don't think I would recommend it to a extremely new player, but like if you can afford the extra cost of it, the extra AP and the money is worth it. So worth. Okay, so here's where I would go. You don't have to eat your food like right now, but I'll just show you what it is. So where do I like to go early on? As a beginner, I like to go down to Castle Ruins. Here's one thing. If you're like a completely new player, you kind of have to unlock all of this simply because you have to do the story. And I know that by default, it's like hidden and like the Fog of War, Mist, or whatever. So you have to unlock it. So just go play through the story. It's not a big deal. And you'll get there. But for the rest of us, we're just skipping a lot of everything. I'll show you how to level up faster. Okay, hold on. Let me see. What does this have? Drift, sprint, and instant excel. I think to do the stupid stuff, you need like all the S abilities. And you probably need like a sideways. Either way, that's just like annoying stuff you worry about later on. So I know this is like 30 minutes, and for an endgame player, you could probably get to like 60, 61 in an hour, but I wanted to do all of this solo. Mostly because I wanted to show off the new player experience more or less. And I think it'd be fun. There are a lot of things I could also buy to like speed up everything, but like it wouldn't really be helpful for a new player because like there are things that I have, for example, infinite potions. I don't particularly want to use that early on. I also don't need it early on, but that is a thing that, you know, veteran players have and already have the bonus for, so keep that in mind. And also, like, if I was actually swapping over gear and everything, like, not gear, but, like, I would have a maxed out horse. Literally takes you from point A to B so much faster, but new players, this is what it feels like. So when you see enemies early on, you're gonna see their name tag, right? And then there's gonna be a color for it. It goes from like light to dark, like light red to purple. And the darker the color generally means the harder the enemy. And what that really means effectively is like it's saying your level is too low or something. You could still kill them, but it might be a challenging thing. And you won't. It's more of like an accuracy thing, so yeah. Get away from my horse. So either way, this is a good spot to level up early on. If you don't feel comfortable here, that's okay. Just keep doing like questing or whatever. So, okay, so you see how they all have purple tags next to their name. It's essentially just saying it's hard. It's a very old thing that they had in the game, but that's what it means. Is it important? Not particularly. It's just kind of giving you a heads up. But as long as you know how to do everything early on, you're good. So we got 2 new skills, Corrupt Ground and Combustion with all the passives over here. Corrupt Ground is Shift Q. Basically, it throws a AoE on the ground, enemies that stand in it. It regains your resources a little bit, but also at the same time hits enemies. It's not a high damage ability. It does have a longer cooldown, so it's not something that like I would recommend using often. But it just, let me put it on my bar so you guys can see it. So it does have a longer cooldown. So I want to show you what it does. Shift Q. It's not high damage, but for the sake of like leveling up, it probably does decent damage. But it's not like your main skill. If there's anything to focus on early on as a new player, Wheel of Fortune, just make sure to, you know, use that a lot. So we hit level 15 plus. This is when we could start popping this one. And you get it by default, and it basically gives you combat XP and everything. It's a huge bonus. Yeah, so I would stay here until like mid 20-ish level. So you got your horse now, so you guys can do everything I can. And yeah, not too bad. For the sake of speeding everything up, I'm gonna use like some buffs, but like for everyone else, you don't really need to. It just takes like 5 minutes longer. That's about it. And it's not even like making me stronger. It's literally just XP. So it's time saving, not power stronger. This thing is for your horse. It's a riding crop. It allows you to like auto path faster and everything. Those Naru stones are used to upgrade your gear early on, and we can do that in a bit as well. Smoky Haze 2, it's another one, so you can double dash and better movement. Basically, here's the early game combo. You airstrike into your enemies, and then you Wheel of Fortune. Got a fishing rod. Believe it or not, Dark Knight is a lot easier to play nowadays than it was before, because you would have to like do a lot of camera turns and everything for your abilities, but it's not a big deal anymore. So yeah, you guys can stay here because as much as you want. Let me hit level 25 and then we'll move. Okay, cool. So, what does this mean? Naru, or the beginner blackstones, are used for upgrading gear early on. Do that. So for gear up to +7 is 100%, and then it goes down after +7. That goes for boss gear and all that stuff as well later on. For Naru gear, I would literally, like, it's not worth fail stacking. You just kind of click it with all your stones. You don't even have to play on the seasonal server. Nice. Back in the day, you actually had to convert these manually. Now it does it by default, which is very huge in terms of quality of life. All right, next place we go to is Bloody Monastery. It's ideally level 23 to 26. You could stay there to like mid 30s, maybe even 40s if you want to, depending on how comfortable it is for you. But for the sake of like me just wanting to go there and speed things up, we go there. And just keep in mind, like, this is our gear. I'm not using anything special. This is literally all the gear that they gave us in game, so you guys can literally copy that as well. Accuracy, as a new player, you're probably wondering, what is this earring? What does it do? So basically, it doesn't give you any like major stats. It gives you 4 accuracy. And for PvE, accuracy is less important. It's more of an end game thing plus PvP. So it's just one of those things where it's important, but not for a beginner. We talked about that in other stuff later on, but yep, pretty cool stuff. We're doing that. Let me actually reset all the prices of all the crystals that I'm trying to buy. Don't worry about this as a new player. It's just end game stuff. Holy dude. Yikes. Horse is now level 2. Let's go. So I usually just park my horse over here. It won't get attacked randomly. And this is a spot that I've grinded quite a lot, more specifically the Elvia version, which is like the end game thing, but the same rotation still applies. I can't believe I think I just missed all of them. Whoa. Either way, this is a pretty fast spot to go level up as well. And Wheel of Fortune is your friend here. Flow with the Ravage Rake. This is Ravage Rake. It's like your frontal. It's used more in Succession than Awakening, but it's good to actually know the combo early on. Dice. Corrupt Ground level 2. Just use your skill points, start leveling up stuff early on. Make sure to talk to your Black Spirit, give you a bunch of goodies. I wish they would condense these so you don't have to spam R for everything. Reached level 30. Pervasive Darkness is actually more of a flow ability, so you do an ability and then hit Pervasive Darkness on that as well, like this, and then really anything else. So I would say this is actually one of the things that probably going to be a little bit tricky for some new players. All right, level 30. Enhanced Naru gear. And you could stay here to like mid 30s, 40s if you wanted to. I think let's get to 32 and then we'll figure it out, just because like we'll just move spots. But ideally for a new player, you're probably not thinking about all this. And so I would recommend for new players just stay at one spot a little bit longer. It'll probably help you learn your class better and, you know, just all that stuff. Nice falling animation game. Love when that happens. Okay, so we hit level 32. What I am going to do right now, though, is split this video. It's almost, wow, like 45 minutes, and we'll get back to all this on part 2. So with that said, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Would love to see you come back, and we'll be back on part 2 next time. Peace.